Hey, what's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint. We're back with another recent reads. This time we're going to talk about the trade paperback for Superman Blue Volume 1, so stay tuned. Alright, so Superman Blue wasn't a direct follow up, but it took place shortly after the death and return of Superman. And it was kind of like the next gimmick after the return of Superman or reign of the Superman, where you had Steel, Superboy, Cyborg Superman, and the Superman clone, the Man of Tomorrow. So I've always been interested in what was going on with Superman Blue. Why is he wearing this costume? What's going on with all that? And in flipping through this trade, I realized I used to have like 4 or 5 of these single issues as a kid. Yeah, so I've always been curious on how he got these new powers and what the whole deal was. I know it wasn't really well received back in the 90s when this came out, and I think, like I said, it was looked at as more of a gimmick. The Superman Blue trade paperback has 14 issues, and it goes across the 4 Superman titles that were running at the time. Superman issues 122 through 125, Action Comics 732 through 734, The Adventures of Superman 545 through 547, and then Superman the Man of Steel 67 through 69, and Annual 8, which we'll talk about annuals later. But yeah, it's a nice trade paperback. At a $24 cover price. It's labeled as Volume 1, so I'm assuming there's going to be a Volume 2. And I know that there's a Superman Red storyline where he gets like a red version of this costume, and I've never read that either, so I'm hoping it leads up into that. So, what is going on in Superman Blue? Basically, Superman starts having problems with his powers. He starts becoming intangible, and it gets really bad to the point where he's falling through the floor of his apartment into another apartment. He's married to Lois Lane. She's obviously worried. And then he starts shorting out electricity. It gets so bad to where he's becoming pretty much just energy and not having a tangible body. Antics ensue in comics with what comes with that. You know, first it's wonky, and then it gets a little bit concerning. Like, damn, I can't fly like I used to. I can't stop bullets anymore. A bullet flew right through him and hit an innocent bystander behind him. So it starts messing with his powers. During this story, we also have a subplot on the shrunken city of Kandor. And then there's a character with horns named Saratek. Now, Saratek is like the son of, I don't know, the mayor of Kandor or something like that. But he's a rebel. He feels trapped in that city and he wants to escape. And we don't learn why Superman's powers start glitching out like they are in this volume. But I'm thinking it has something to do with Saratek leaving the city of Kandor, and there are some consequences that happen with that. Now, for whatever reason, Saratek, he seems like a smart guy. He's like a rebel, an outcast, and he seems very smart and cunning. But for whatever reason, when he comes into Metropolis, he's drawn to this being of energy, which is Superman, and he doesn't speak our language, but it almost feels like he got dumbed down because of that. He ends up admiring Superman and putting on the old school Superman costume himself and trying to be a hero. When he first fought Superman, for whatever reason, the media started calling him Scorn instead of Saratek, and Scorn battling Superman was almost like a doomsday battle, like a really quick battle, but it reminded me of that because Saratek is really big. Superman ends up getting this costume. It's really a containment suit because his energy got so strong to where he could no longer remain a tangible form, and he was just going to disappear into nothingness. So this suit is a containment suit that keeps him intact and allows him to really hone and focus in on his powers. So that was really the big thing with this story, giving Superman a new power set. Now he's more of energy, so he can not really fly, but like almost not teleport, but move like faster than the speed of light or whatever. Instead of being faster than the speed of bullet, he's now faster than the speed of light. And he has other kind of electric based powers. So I was disappointed. We didn't really find out what's causing it. I guess we got to wait for the next volume to come out. But let's flip through the artwork, which was good, and we'll talk about some more things about the story. Metallo was a villain in a couple of issues, which was weird because it's kind of like Ultron, but he talks like Bebop and Rocksteady. Like, where those twiddles? Like, really? And there was some other, some other villains in here as well. Let's take a look at the artwork and check it out. All right, so let's flip through here. I do like the costume a lot. He doesn't have a cape. He's got that cool S on the front and the back. So I am a fan of the costume. That's something that kind of always drew me to this. Here's where we start off, where he's regular Superman. Here goes Saratak in the city of Kandor. Well, I guess we could just call it Kandor. Some Clark stuff. Superman in action here. Yeah, so I guess they have some early interaction, and this is probably what causes his power glitch, but I'm not sure. I haven't read past this yet. Yeah, I forget this guy's name. He thinks he's a good guy, but he really does bad. Whatever. Kind of a throwaway villain. Saratek fighting Superman. He's now just fresh into Metropolis. He doesn't know what's going on. He can't really communicate with anybody, and people are automatically pegging him as a villain. So you can imagine what happens there. Here's the same cover from the front. Superman starts shorting out all the electricity with his powers. Here's the containment suit that's created for him. See, because basically he's all energy. He can't even stabilize himself. So originally it looks like that, kind of digital looking, right? So with his powers, he learns that he can phase his powers on and off. And when his powers are phased off, he's a regular human. He's not even Superman. He can be hurt and everything, which was kind of weird. He puts the S on his chest with electricity when he meets Ma and Pa Kent. And this is the first time we see him fully in costume. And then you have just like some regular stuff like fighting Metallo. I gotta tell you, Metallo was written weird, but I mean, the story arc with him was pretty cool. Like an Ultron. Metallo uses Superman as a battery so he could power himself as a big, huge Megazord type of creature. It's pretty cool. Then you got, I think this is where Saratek first recognizes the S logo and realizes that, he admires him, and he wears a ripped piece of the shirt around his arm. And then he eventually wears a full Superman costume. See, like lightning powers. This was an issue I had as a kid, and I was always in my head, like, why is Superman parachuting in somewhere? Saratek. So, see, he can't really talk. There's a cover swipe of Action 1 with him, and I used to have that as a kid, too, and I used to always think, like, is this comic book valuable? Because it was a cover swipe. Well, we'll see if we can find it. Oh, I'll look for it again. The annual. Man, I hate annual issues. And for every publisher, it's always a super long issue that doesn't tie in with the main story. It's usually multiple little stories that are just terrible and don't move the plot anywhere, man. I can't stand annuals. This one, you know, he was Blue Superman the whole time, so I guess it was interesting to see his powers, but it was just some whack Jimmy Olsen story. It was lame. I hate animals. Damn, where is that cover? Here we go. All right, guys, that's the recent reads on Superman Blue Volume 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm trying to knock out as much stuff as I can, and this one caught my eye. We are currently doing a IDW Transformers read-through. I'm reading X-Men and Doctor Doom 2099. Then I think I'm going to jump into Transmetropolitan and knock out those absolutes. I'm thinking about jumping into the Colossal Conan books as well, since those were so hyped and sought after recently. Anyway, hit the like on the way out. Drop me a line. What do you think about Superman Blue? Do you remember it from the 90s? What are your thoughts? Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more comic reviews. We do other daily content as well, like movie reviews, statue unboxings, live shows, and more. Stay minty. Peace.